Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Ethen Ostroff. I'm a personal injury lawyer. I help individuals who were hurt but not at fault all over the country. Thank you for tuning in today. We're going to talk about pothole injuries. Let's say that you, your friend, your loved one tripped and fell on a pothole, broke your knee, broke your wrist, got hurt, and don't know what the next step looks like. We're going to dive into that. Before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along where I will protect your next, hopefully not, personal injury case. Let's go. So you, a loved one, tripped and fell in a pothole, and maybe you got severely hurt, maybe you didn't get totally hurt, but you just want to know what the next steps would look like. Typically on what this is called in the legal space, which is a premises liability incident, or in layman's terms, a slip, trip, and fall. In these kinds of cases, typically the property owner is on the hook for what happened. But I'm going to give you some good news. Every property owner must, by law, at least in Pennsylvania, have some level of insurance protecting if they were to happen to have somebody get hurt in something like a pothole on that property. That insurance is there specifically to cover medical bills and any sort of pain and suffering or loss that somebody were to suffer if they fell and got hurt and, let's say, broke their arm in a pothole. These are really serious cases. If that pothole persisted, maybe it was there for 6 months and, there wasn't really any reason for it not to get filled, that insured is going to be on the hook for what happened. But the good news for you, it does not come out of the owner's pocket. It comes out of an insurance company pocket. In the legal space, let's say that you were on the jury for a premises liability or car accident or really any sort of personal injury case. There are rules in evidence that say that you cannot even mention the word insurance in that circumstance. But here on YouTube, I'm totally allowed to tell you that in most circumstances, when a person gets hurt, trips, falls on a pothole and gets significantly hurt, that money comes out of insurance, and you don't necessarily have to have a fear about pursuing a case for that because it's not the owner that's going to be paying you out of pocket. They have insurance for exactly that purpose. Now we're going to dive into how you need to prove that case. So let's say that you did trip, slip, and fall with a pothole. Maybe it was snowy and you didn't see it. Maybe it was dark and you didn't see it. Maybe it was middle of broad daylight and it just shouldn't have been there. If you do have the ability, and you might be seriously hurt and not have the ability, but if you do, take pictures of what you saw. If they were to cover it up the next day when they heard that you broke your wrist, you might not have any evidence to prove your case the way that you would have if you would have snapped a few pictures. So if you have the wherewithal, if you have anybody with you, tell them to take pictures of that incident. Next, if you did happen to fall and you have the ability, let the people that own that property know what happened, and you'd like to ask for what's called an incident report. If you create that incident report, let's say the police came to the scene to give you an ambulance because you really got messed up. Let's say that it wasn't so serious and it just was dealt with by management. Without an incident report, even if it was written by the person that owns that property, you're going to really struggle with not having any sort of documented evidence as to what happened other than your side of the story, basically. Next, look to see if there are any cameras in the area. If you look around and you see a camera, that's really good news. They might have that hole deteriorating over time. They might also have you falling, which, if it was a really serious fall, that's good to have on camera because it'll show the significance of this issue and what happened to you, because you can prove notice that they knew about it and didn't do anything to fix it, and you can show the significance of your fall and your injury. So before I wrap up today, just going to give you a quick summary. If you were to fall on a pothole, yes, you do have a pretty significant injury case, depending on how serious your injury is and how serious the problem was and how much notice was on that property. But what you do, take pictures, look for video, let them know, and ask for an incident report, and you should properly protect your case. Before I let you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along where I will make sure your next, hopefully not, but your next personal injury case is protected. My name is Ethen Ostroff. Thanks for being here.